Next up is Kim from MIS, a Salas O'Brien company. They are the world's largest envelope engineering company in the United States. They are Windows. MIS has an FGIA, AAMA accredited lab and testing facility in Daytona Beach. They test Windows. They test Windows especially for insurance and are backed by Fenestration Masters. Last year, there were only 166 Fenestration Masters in the world. MIS has 5 of them on their payroll. Yes, that's pretty cool. So they know Windows. So we're going to go ahead and welcome Kim to the stage today.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, you can hear me pretty good. So thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy lives to be here tonight. So as I said, I represent MIS. We're a Salas O'Brien company. We are the leaders in the testing of Windows in the United States. We are now have 6 Fenestration Masters on our payroll. So in the English language that I understand, the PhD of Windows. So we've been in business a long time. MIS, on the insurance end, we were one of the first companies after a major storm or hurricane to test windows and sliding glass doors. We work in conjunction with lawyers, public adjusters, in order to get windows, sliding glass doors replaced after a hurricane or storm. What separates us from anyone else is our PhD of Window Masters and our credentials. Our credentials, and they're next to none. And I stand by this company because of what they bring to the table for the client and how we can help attorneys with their clients and serve their clients better in that end. So just a little bit more, and I'm trying to see because I don't have my glasses. So this just gives you an idea of when we do testing after a hurricane. When windows have been compromised, we look for adjusted gaskets, rack sashes, okay, if on a sliding glass door, if it's loose in the track. A window, when it's been compromised, it has a rattle. So the sails are broken, it doesn't come together the way a window should. Windows today, and this is what we're finding out in the industry, and Paul, we've talked about this, is that there's such a main part of the structure of a building. So you think about it, if your roof leaks, 9 out of 10 times, your windows are going to leak. Water's got to come somewhere. It's going to go down. And it's going to go into the windows. It'll affect the structure, the drywall. And now at that point, we have construction issues. So it's very vital to think about windows. Think about windows after a hurricane or storm. If you eliminate them, you get another hurricane, what's going to happen? They're going to leak, you're going to have drywall damage, and all types of structural damage. Think about new construction. The rule of thumb in new construction is 5-50-90. Why? If you're a general contractor or you're doing a restoration project and you're installing windows, you want to make sure that those windows, that installation is being tested. Because if there's a problem, well, before everybody starts pointing fingers, correct the problem. And this is where MIS stands above. We're going to come out and test those windows, but we're not going to leave until we tell you why they're leaking. So we bring the A team. A lot of companies today, they bring the B and C team. Why? More money in their pocket. You keep paying and they keep bringing. But we want to give you serve others well. And that's our motto. Serve others well. Whether we're doing it in construction, brand new construction, whether we're doing it in insurance. And don't overlook windows. In insurance, they bring your claim over the top. And people forget. You know, I could look at a window, a storefront window, and to the eye, you're going to say, oh, that window looks great. There's nothing wrong with that window, but I guarantee you, after a major hurricane or storm, that window will leak. It has been compromised. But we overlooked that. So now you're going to pay out of your pocket when you can utilize Cohen Law. You can utilize our testing, anyone, the expertise. So it doesn't come out of your pocket. And we back it up. And that's how we back it up with the experts, the forensic testing, depositions. So you're not getting some ma and pa, you know, they're in a Ford pickup truck and they got a little sprayer on the back of the truck and, you know, they're going to go around and test your windows. So we serve others well. We're here to help you, answer any questions. I answer my phone 24/7. So if you have any questions or any information, please give me a call. We'd love to help you.
There you go. There's a great question on the sheet here. Are insurance companies starting to require testing?
Yes. So
How so?
So how fast did I answer, right? What's happening is water causes causation. So with all these new laws going into effect, and such as Paul has brought out, with the limited amount of time that we have in Ian, you have time, but it's coming to crunch time. And especially when you install brand new windows. When you have them tested and they get that clean bill of health, or let's say there's a problem, those windows are fixed, now something happens. The insurance companies will make good on that claim. And that's why you have attorneys, you have Cohen Law, and they fight on your behalf. But test the windows. Don't think for a minute that you're disservicing your clients by bringing up the windows. Because if there's a problem, why should they pay out of pocket when the insurance companies have to make do? And they're making this a requirement because now they have leverage. So if you show that these windows, and another really important thing, and I apologize for not bringing this up, was MIS is an AAMA accredited lab. So what that means is in the world of insurance and being recognized as we have the credentials to stand up. We do depositions for attorneys. We help the public adjusters. So our reports are like 500 pages. I mean, they're long. And we are audited every 3 months, which means our equipment has to be calibrated every 3 months. Who gets audited and calibrates their equipment? We do. So so we really do. We take a lot of care in servicing others well.
So a question, does MIS test new windows that have been installed before, both commercial and residential?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do. And that's where that 550-90 rule comes in, especially new construction. I can't tell you, you can carry a window the wrong way and it will be damaged. A window will damage in transportation. It happens all the time. So when you test at that 5%, now you can see, and that's what we do. If you're installing windows and 5% everything seems to be okay, 50% we have leaks, we have problems. What's going to happen is we're going to tell you why that window is leaking. Is the installation done improperly? Did the window get damaged during transportation? And then we're going to do it again at 90%. Because as we all know, once everybody leaves the job site and the project is completed, now all of a sudden, oh, there's a problem. So here comes the finger pointing. Oh, it's the architect. Oh, no, it's the GC. Oh, no, it's the window guy. So you solve the problems. And I always say this, I love this. Cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure that you have everything in order. It saves so much money and aggravation in the long run. So,
Great. Any other questions out there for Kim? There
Yes.
you go.
So, if you're a homeowner,
Yes.
and let's say your windows got affected by the hurricane,
yes.
and I call you in to do the testing and stuff, it sounds like, what you said, you get attorneys or public adjusters to go fight an insurance company. As a homeowner, how often do you actually have enough money that you can actually replace your windows? Or is the attorney and the public adjuster and everyone else getting the money, and then you still don't get windows up?
Well, this is the key. When for a homeowner, unless if you don't have a lot of windows in your home, it's really, a lot of them find it not worth their while. You get that public adjuster, you'll get an attorney such as Harvey, because when you go in, what we do with testing and what our credentials bring to the table, that is what gets you what you need. Okay? We can test. So how this works is, say you call me and you say the Smiths, you and I did a project. So I go in and I do a preliminary observation. That observation is of no charge. So I go in and I'll look and I do some things. I take some pictures to see if, in fact, there has been damage. If there's damage, then a proposal is sent. And then it's up to the client if they want to proceed. They want to proceed, our testing team comes out. They provide all the necessary documentation that you need for your insurance companies. Insurance companies, think about something. They look at homeowners as weak. Really, they do. They figure they don't know much. What does a typical homeowner know? It's funny, it's a story. I went to go look at Townhouse. And never in my life did I do this, but I did, is I started testing the windows, doing an observation. And I said to the realtor, I said, they're going to have problems. Every single window, sliding glass door, had been compromised. It rattled. It had ingested gaskets. It had rack sashes. Things were loose in the frame. But you don't know that, right? As a homeowner, would you know that? Would you look? Would anybody look? So that's where, when you take a problem after a hurricane or major storm and you use the resources of an attorney, of a public adjuster, this is where they can help you to get to that next step.
One thing I want to say real quick about window testing, every home or property is different. So a value of your windows, okay, well, windows you might think are $20,000. They could be $100,000. To have it tested, it could cost you $5,000 or $10,000. Is the made whole? I don't think the correct question is if the public adjuster gets paid, if the attorney gets paid, or if the testing gets paid. Why should the homeowner have to go through that, or a property owner have to go through that by the insurance company? That's the real question. It's not on the public adjuster, it's not on the attorney, and it's not on the testing company. That's the wrong direction for people to be looking at. And unfortunately, that's what's going on with the law changes that have happened. The insurance companies, and unfortunately, I will say this on tape, the governor made a poor decision and said, we're going to go ahead and change these laws. And know what, Mr. and Mrs. Property Owner in the state of Florida? I represent you. In 2 years, you'll get a discount. Come on now. In what business do you get a discount in 2 years? Nothing goes down in 2 years. So that's the wrong questions are being asked, because the contractors, the testing companies, the public adjusters, and the attorneys are made to be the bad guys when it's the insurance companies. I worked for an insurance company. I did insurance claims, and insurance companies do not answer to policyholders. They answer to stockholders. So what does that tell you?